dos, tres, probando. I think we're live. Buenas noches, gente. This is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en vivo. Bienvenidos a la temporada del 1906. This is the first stream of our 1906 season as our beloved Navegadores open at home in La Timonera against the Soles de Luquillo. With me, as always, is my co host, the redoubtable Luisa. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing very well. I'm excited to start this new season. How are you doing?
Much the same. We took 2 weeks off to figure out a number of things, one of which was how borked Out of the Park Baseball 26 was exactly, and the answer is extremely borked as far as this save file is
Mm.
concerned. So we are sticking with Out of the Park 25, and if you have a problem with that, all right, there's nothing we can do about it. Take it up with the developers, I guess. That's certainly what we've been doing.
The hiatus was very fortuitous, it turns out.
Yes, I think if we had tried to broadcast these games, we would have quickly found ourselves in an untenable situation,
Mhm.
which, as it turns out, because we had those 2 weeks off, we were able to reset, prepare the off season properly, and here we are. We're here to broadcast game one of the Navegadores season, and we hope that this season, between some preparations that we've made, some work we've put in, and some interesting new things that we're hoping to do, most notably, one of the reasons that we're not in 26 is that at the end of this year, at the end of the season, we're hoping to have our first international tournament, the Copa Mundial, where 12
Mhm.
countries will play against each other to determine basically who's the best country in the world at baseball and why is it Puerto Rico.
Mhm. Good questions.
But before we get there, we have a game. We have a ball game tonight. And I already mentioned who the two teams are. On my right, the Navegadores in their sapphire and gold. On my left, the Soles de Luquillo in their gold, red, and black. And I already know that this game is making Luisa extremely nervous.
Mhm. It definitely is because I can see that the Naves are favored at every position, and I don't like that.
Yeah, that is never a sign of confidence for you, and I cannot blame you. I'm going to be honest. This time,
Mm.
there is some cause for confidence in that the Soles. So, as you can see, the advantage is not slight. The Soles are running out what I think any sane person would call a terrible lineup.
Mhm.
This is not the lineup of a team that is interested in winning ball games. This is the lineup of a team that's interested in selling some tickets.
Ah, I see. Okay.
All of these guys, with the exception of Saldana in center field, are about as far up the potential ladder as they're going to get. And other than Julio Rubio, who has hit oodles of home runs, I think is the technical term, over the past few years,
Oh.
cannot get on base. They cannot score runs. And so the fact that they are deploying Ramon Chavez, who is genuinely an incredible pitcher, on the mound for this, it feels almost like they're doing him a disservice on a personal level.
Do you think he's on the way up? I see he's young. I see he's 23. Is he still improving?
He is an ace. I don't know how much better he could get. This thing says he has
Mm.
1 point of movement potential left to achieve. But honestly, I don't know how much better he could get. Well, that's a lie. I do know he could stop walking so many dudes. But last year he went 33 and 14. He struck out 420 batters. This is not a
Whoa.
bad pitcher. This is in fact an excellent pitcher whom I believe, let's see here. No, it would actually appear that he was unable to secure either an all star selection or, weirdly, any votes at the end of the year, even though last year He led the league in innings pitched, 413 innings. He led the league in gains, despite being a starting pitcher. That's very unusual. 60 games he
Whoa.
appeared in, faced nearly 1,700 batters. And I mean, he did not allow a ton of hits. He was fifth in strikeouts per 9 innings. He was an excellent pitcher last year. He was third in quality starts. He was fifth in wins above replacement. So the Soles are declaring something by putting him on the mound for game one.
Is he just carrying that whole team all the time?
I would say more often than not, yes. That would seem exactly correct.
It's a shame for
However,
him.
it
Yeah.
is. Well, it is if he doesn't win, and that's really the question. As a great reliever on top, he's the rare ace pitcher who is also a good swingman. He can show up at the end of another game that another pitcher has managed to struggle into winning. He can show up and win that game too, and that's kind of incredible. You don't see that very often. Not in this era, not in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña. Unfortunately, the Navegadores have also made a statement. They have changed their opening day pitcher. Their inaugural pitcher this year is Jamaican Everton Stack, number 3.
Woo!
We're usually used to seeing Ted Balloon on the mound for these, but with Ted only a few years before he gets to go test the market, and he will definitely be signed by a contending team. Who knows if the Soles by then are in a position to try and really make a run at a division rival there.
Well,
Stack
we
is
love Stack, so it's good
Stack,
to see him.
Stack is going to be here for a while. He solidified his ace case, if you will, by appearing in the playoffs after 4 months off in 1905 with a busted meniscus and ended up closing out the pivotal game 5 that completed the sweep against Carolina. So he's back on the mound. He was the last guy to pitch for the Navegadores in 1905, and he's the first guy to pitch for them in 1906. Well, that's probably enough yakety yakking from us before we get down to the field. Let's get it done. Let's make sure everything is working. Wow. Late game
Huh.
today.
It
Interesting.
seems like it. No sky at all, you might say.
Yes, it is 7:05, so that is a dark night sky, although in Naguabo in this era you would imagine that there would be a lot more stars.
True.
It is nearly sold out, 2,948 seats in the house filled, raining, temperature 20 degrees, and the wind is blowing out to center. So Ham Underwood is going to have to watch over his head. And on the other side of things, Eusebio Saldaña, who is a considerably worse defender, should have a fun time out there. Well, before we read out the starting lineups and see the first pitch of the game, Luisa, I think it's time that for the first time in 1906, we have a word from our sponsors. And of course, we have many sponsors and we love them all. This broadcast would not be possible without them. But there is one particular sponsor that stands head and healthy shoulders above the rest of them. And who is this, Luisa?
You were talking, of course, about our most venerable sponsor, Dr. Gonzalez, and his wonderful wood tar liquor. Folks, 70,000 patients have been cured over 15 years with it. That number's gone up, of course. Time goes on, more people are cured, obviously. It helps with chronic colds, rogue coughs, abundant chest discharges, asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory ailments. It helps with both consumption and bladder catarrh. It's inflammation. It purifies over-humored blood, and it whets the appetite for fattening. Not to be confused with other Dr. Gonzalez wood tar liquors, except no substitutes. And, as you know, it's sold in all good pharmacies, especially San Juan's own Farmacia Guillermetti, at the corner of Calle de San Francisco and Calle de la Cruz.
Thank you very much, Luisa. In case there are any newbies listening, first of all, welcome. Glad you're here. Always love to see new faces in the house. But second of all, that is a real ad from the 1870. Well, actually, it's not the 1871 edition. From the Boletín Mercantil de Puerto Rico, a real newspaper that we mine for its various patent medicine commercials and classifieds and all other sorts of random journalistic detritus, I suppose.
That'd be a good name for a newspaper.
We're going to have to disagree on that, but sure. And this particular ad ran for 10 years in the Boletín Mercantil 1881 to 1891, then proceeded to run for the next 6 years in San Juan's La Correspondencia, another newspaper of the era. But you didn't come here to hear, well, I hope you came here to hear about patent medicines because, spoiler alert, that's what a lot of the ads are. But you also came here to watch some baseball, and it's time we make that happen. So let's read our starting lineups. First, for the visiting Soles de Luquillo, leading off and playing third base, number 22, Priamo Agosto. Batting second and playing center field, number 20, Eusebio Saldaña. Batting third and playing second base, number 12, Kaylee Murphy. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 39, Julio Rubio. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 55, Cameron Evans. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, number 88, Marcos Picard. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 26, Vicente Hernandez. Batting eighth and playing first base, number 30, Prisco Santiago. Batting ninth and catching, number 23, Aldo Aguilar. Pitching for the Soles de Luquillo tonight, number 6, Ramon Chavez. And now, the starting lineup for your beloved Navegadores de Naguabo. Leading off and playing first base, number 16, Rob Feaster.
The Grackle.
Batting second and playing second base, number 4, Etaoin Shirley.
The Font of Wisdom.
Batting third and playing left field, number 37, Vidal Santiago.
The Barber.
Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 17, Pablo Salmeron.
Rudy John. He has a new one though, doesn't he?
We usually just call him Pablito these days.
Okay, fair.
Batting fifth and playing third base, number 12, Wally Bach.
The Human Ripcord.
Batting sixth and playing shortstop, number 6, Benigno Valdez.
Benji.
Who appears to have lost some teeth over the course of the offseason.
Good lord.
What was he, playing embryonic hockey? Batting seventh and playing right field, number 56, Frank Del Castillo.
Diablo Rojo.
Batting eighth and playing center field, number 27, Graham Underwood.
Ham.
Batting ninth and catching, number 0, Spike Stonehand.
The man who needs no nickname.
Eventually, we're just going to put that in as his nickname. We don't even know if it's going to fit in the text
Yeah,
field
the
that
longest
we're allowed.
nickname of all.
Exactly. The man formerly known as, the baseball player formerly known as Spike.
Mm-hmm.
And pitching for the Navegadores tonight, number 3 from Montego Bay, Everton Stack.
I want to call him Stack of Pancakes, but that feels very Harry Carey type of thing to do.
Yeah, I would actually say that's more of a Chris Berman move, but yes.
Fair enough. Something will come to us.
It's the same generation, really, of sportscasters in terms of being ridiculous in sometimes ways that were funny.
Yes.
Everton Stack last year, before he busted his meniscus and ended up on the injured list, he went 17-3 over 23 games started, pitched just under 200 innings, struck out 213 guys, walking only 38, hitting 4, giving up 1 home run, and having 5 wild pitches on the year. That was good for a league-leading fielding independent pitching minus of 35. This is not a guy who makes his defense work harder than they need to. He makes sure to get guys out at the plate, and he has a hell of a pitch inventory to make that happen. Sure, he has a fastball, but he's also got a sinker, a curveball, and a deadly split finger fastball. And as we know, if you've had the Navegadores, if you've watched them face any splitter pitcher, you know just how tough that can be on opposing hitters. So here we go. It's time to get things started. As we pan around La Timonera.
Here we go. Where's that grotto? Let's see it.
Oh, the dynamic zoom robbed
you
there. Well, hopefully Rob or somebody will hit one in there.
That would be nice.
Hey, here's a new experience. Stack throws the first pitch. It's a sinker, and it's in there for a strike. And we are off. Oh, he got a generous call on that one, too. Agosto knocks that one. It's a slow bouncer to Benji Valdez. He's got it, makes the throw overhand to first base, and that is out number 1. And look at those beautiful uniforms. The Soles de Luquillo are certainly styling and profiling tonight in their ketchup and mustard uniforms. We're particularly proud of the tall font that we were able to get on the back of the jersey, which I believe is the font from the logo for the Soles.
Oh, cool. I haven't clocked it yet, but I'll have to keep an eye out.
Next comes Eusebio Saldaña, the center fielder, with the bases empty and 1 out. Stack slips a curveball right by him, 0-1. Stack hung that one. If Saldaña had been able to make contact, it would have been extremely problematic. 0-1. Stack rears back, and that is cracked. Sherdloo has it running to his left. He throws overhand, and I think you can see the 2-0 a little more clearly.
Yeah. There. I was going to say that, too. Has a real nice curl to the top of it.
It sure does. Beautiful font. As he tosses a feaster over there for the out, and that's out number 2. Here comes Kaylee Murphy, an elite contact hitter, making his first plate appearance in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña, and I would say that is just about the face one would expect him to be making under the circumstances. Imagine having to face Everton Stack for your first appearance.
I couldn't do it.
Split finger falls low. Murphy does not go after it. 1-0. First ball for Everton Stack. He goes for the second pitch. That is hit right to Valdez, who will once again make the throw to first base. And we have a 6-pitch first inning from Everton Stack. Luquillo goes down in order. And now it will be as looks like that was a fastball. Inside, jammed Murphy up, and he was unable to get good wood on it. So let me ask you this. How does it feel to witness a 6-pitch first inning?
Feels, unexpected, I guess is the best word for it.
Very novel, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that is very true.
Listen, we love Ted, we love the wildness, we love Looney Ballooney and all the wonderful gifts that he brings us. But sometimes it's really nice to watch a guy just competently, quietly slice his way through an opposing lineup. Here, exactly. The Navegadores get to take their first cuts at home against Ramon Chavez, who, as we mentioned, his nickname is El Desapercibido, and that is because nobody has any idea where his pitches are coming from. He has a fastball, a sinker, and a cutter. All 3 of those move very differently, but he tunnels them out of the same release point, so you have no idea what's coming until, honestly, it's probably already by you. And then on top of that, he's got a changeup from hell. We talked about how the center field defense is not great for the Soles, but they don't need it, because with this guy's ability to get ground balls, well, he has a worse infield, actually, so that's pretty interesting. We'll have to see what happens there.
Poor guy.
Up against him, Rob Feaster, who's hit 130 in 23 at-bats against Chavez. Feaster says he's in the best shape of his life after an off-season spent improving his base stealing technique. So this should be interesting.
Good.
Last year he led the league in stolen bases, and Chavez fires that sinker, and he gets the same exact call Everton Stack got on his first pitch. Sinker outside for a strike. Chavez rears back again, and Feaster grounder to first base directly. Prisco Santiago, the former Taino de Gurabo, has it and steps on the base himself for out number 1. Etaoin Shirley, the font of wisdom, comes up next. He's hitting much better against Chavez, 292 in 24 at-bats. He, I believe, spent the offseason working on plate discipline, trying to improve his batting eye, and did fairly well at that. So let's see if that comes into play tonight. Usually I'd say today, but of course it is already 7-11. So that changeup misses, low and away, 1-0.
I like hearing what all our guys majored in the offseason.
Yeah, what they went to summer school for. Winter school, I suppose.
Yeah. Baseball university.
Swings through the sinker, 1-1. As he launches that one in there, it is low, sinker. So Shirley gets back ahead here. If there is one thing they need Chavez to do, it is throw pitches. If they can get on base against him, he can't hold the runners very well, and Aldo Aguilar does not have an incredible arm. So if they can get on the base paths, they should be able to run their way into some scoring. 2-1 count. And as we know, the Naves love nothing more than stealing bases with abandon. Cutter, a little too high, a little too inside, and it's ball 3. Shirley in excellent position here to give the Naves their first base runner, if he can hold on. And instead, he hits that one to second base, but unfortunately,
oh boy, here we go.
Kaylee Murphy drops
right away.
it. It's an error, and Shirley indeed does reach first base through no fault of his own, as he hit a sinker inside that should have been problematic. Here comes Vidal Santiago, who immediately rewards the first pitch from Chavez with a knock right through the middle. Saldana has to go field it. It's a changeup out there in the shallow outfield. And 10 pitches into the game, Chavez has 2 men on base, no-hitter, and 1 out for Pablo Salmeron.
So we already know that they just need to hit the ball, and then everything else will be fine. The fielders can't do anything.
So you would think. Pablo Salmeron is an interesting case here. Vidal, by the way, since we didn't get to say that, he, as you put it, he majored in power hitting and actually did so well that his potential ability to hit for power increased. He's 29. We should already have an idea of what his ceiling is. He expanded it.
Wow, he's unlocked some new muscles.
Exactly. So, Vidal, now much more jacked than ever, has generated some real home run power. It'll be obviously fascinating to see if that translates into more homers. And then here comes Pablo Salmeron, who last year, hit 15 home runs for this ball club. He was second on the club, only to Wally Balk, who follows him in the order. Pablo, very frustrating hitter for both opposing pitchers and his own teammates. He will go on offensive tears where he will be simply unstoppable. Last year during the postseason, he had an on-base percentage of .400. He was drawing walks, he was hitting singles, he was hitting doubles. During the regular season, though, he goes cold with striking regularity. And the real issue there is that, as you can see here, he is now the team's full-time designated hitter, as well as being a backup catcher. In fact, the Navegadores now carry 3 catchers so that Pablo can always be in the mix to hit without losing them, the DH. So,
nice.
What will happen there is, not for me to say, it's for the baseball gods, but Pablo tried to improve his defensive catcher, and it did not stick, unfortunately. Which is very unfortunate, since it's one of, 2 positions he can play. Sinker is inside 1-0. Chavez, by the way, usually power pitchers like him, very splitty. They're worse, a lot worse against opposite-handed hitters, but not here. That is not the case. Chavez pretty stable against both hands. Salmeron has hit 273 in 11 at-bats against him, and Chavez a little discombobulated here. Gets a strike back with that sinker, 2-1.
I've been clowning on the Solis uniforms because they do look like clowns.
Pablo
specifically
Salmeron knocks that one through the right field line, pardon me, already some trouble, and I think that's going to score a run. Sherdloo across the plate, and Pablo Salmeron has the first run batted in of the 1906 Naguabo season as Cameron Evans has to go get it. Salmeron with a double scores one, and there are still 2 men on with 1 out, and boy, is he Pablito. That is a short man standing on second.
Oh, very good.
Sorry, you were saying about the uniforms?
I was clowning on them because they look like clowns, specifically Ronald McDonald. But when you see Aguilar behind base there, all crouched down, when you see him from behind the pitcher, he really does look like a fireball. It looks very cool.
Ooh, interesting. I can't wait to see this. I haven't been paying enough attention. Men on second and third with 1 out. Do you mean right now, or do you mean when the pitch is thrown?
Yes.
Okay, can't wait to see that then. Men on second and third with 1 out for Wally Balk, who led the team last year in home runs with 17, which is a club record. The Australian third baseman, if I remember correctly, worked on quality of contact. It did not go what you would. It did not go well. Let's put it that way. First pitch to him. Oh, I see now. Yes, he does look a little bit of Final Fantasy bomb energy.
Yes, he does. It's very good.
Fastball misses wide. 1-0. Chavez here trying to limit the damage after that run was scored on him. Balk watches ball 2. 2 fastballs so far. 2-0. He swings right through the sinker. 2-1. And that's the problem with Wally, free swinger that he is. He could run himself out of this at-bat very quickly. There we go. A 2-strike count as he fouls off the sinker. And Chavez here, if I'm him, righty on righty, I think I bury that cutter up and in. Let's see if that's what happens. It's not, but he does get the strikeout on a sinker low and away. So with 2 outs and 2 on, here comes Benji Valdez to try and extend this inning. Benji, the undisputed team captain, the Campeonato Nacional, the Ilustre del Campeonato Nacional, the MVP for the national championship last year. Absolutely incredible player in every way. Won his 3rd Ilustrísimo, that's the MVP award, in a row, which I believe is the first time that has ever happened.
Amazing.
So we'll see if he's got what it takes to make it a 4th one. Last year, for the first time, he did not lead the league in wins above replacement. That honor went to Coamo's Socrates Flores. So we'll see if Benji, who I believe worked on... I know it was either a 2-strike approach or plate discipline, but I can't remember. I believe it was discipline. I think he did kind of fine. It didn't hurt, but I don't think it particularly helped him either. We'll see what happens. Hey, Will, welcome. Glad to see you. And yes, just in time for your guy. Cutter on the inside, and it's called strike 1. That fastball misses low, 1-1. Benji fouls that one off, a sinker, and here's where the at-bat truly begins. Let's see if Benji's learned a few new tricks during the off-season. He does. He fouls it away and fights it. Cutter, high and away. Maybe he gave Ramon Chavez some ideas with that one. As he's over 23 pitches. Here goes Valdez. Bounces that one to third base. They've got it. They throw across the hallway. Let's see. Agosto had it. He threw to first. And Santiago was able to pick it. So the side is retired. But not before they get 2 hits, a run, and an error. And they strand to the Navegadores. Go in front 1-0 to open their 1906 season.
Pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Before we continue, we're going to try to get into the habit of making sure that we inform everybody how things are going. So I'll ask this, Luisa. Let's get our first vibe check of the night. How do you think? How confident are you in the Navegadores after that first inning? What did you like there?
I think I'm more confident. What I liked is how quickly the first two guys to get on base got on base. And I think, as you said, you kind of set it up. I wasn't sure if I should believe it or not, but it really is all down to the pitcher. No one else is any good on this team. And I think if they can just hit the ball, and a lot of our guys are good at that, they can reliably get on base. So I feel a lot more confident now.
That is a great breakdown of where the situation stands. I think if you're at all, uh, I think right now there is a lot of reason to think, yes, the Naves could have this in the bag. The
Mm-hmm.
most important thing for them to do is literally just keep the Soles from getting any kind of rhythm, because any team, no matter how bad they are, once they get into any kind of once guys start getting on base, putting pressure on the pitcher, mental pressure, physical pressure, then that is always going to cause real trouble. No matter how good you are, even for Everton Stack, it would be an issue.
Yeah, they frown on you putting physical pressure on the pitcher. They don't like you to go up there while he's trying to pitch.
Yes, exactly. I did mean more in terms of holding runners, but yes.
That's fair.
Having said that, speaking of Everton Stack, we should get back to him as he's facing Julio Rubio, the Puerto Rican bucheron par excellence. He is not a contact hitter. He is not a guy who tends to walk much. He has one hit in five at bats against Stack, and Stack is at six pitches through this first inning. Julio Rubio last year nearly became a sub 200 hitter with 30 homers, so a real sort of Puerto Rican Kyle Schwarber vibe there for those of you familiar. He hits the ball very hard and it goes very far, but he has to make contact with the ball, is the thing. Certainly, he'll be trying to make an impression, as I believe he is currently on the trading block. Fastball
He
misses
hit
low.
so hard,
1-0.
and it went so far, but in the
The
end, it
end.
didn't even matter.
Well, let's hope that's the case. Sinker up and away, 1-1. Ooh, Rubio takes a big cut of that fastball and misses for strike two. Stack looking to get his first K of the year, and this is probably one of his better candidates. But Rubio gets just enough on that one to foul it off. It's a sinker there. The fact that he has not thrown him an off speed tells you a little something here. Stack thinks he can get by with just the heater.
Mm-hmm.
Throws it again. Rubio hits that one hard, hits that one deep, and we
Whoa!
have a tie game. That ball
What the
is
heck?
gone. Julio
Wow!
Rubio with a solar flare to right puts it
Nice.
just over the wall, and Luquillo evens the game at one. Stack got a little bit too confident with that fastball up and in, and Julio Rubio saw it and punished it. So we're back to a tie game, and we've seen what may very well be the first home run of the 1906 season. We're going to look very
Wow.
quickly.
Yeah. Don't know.
It appears that it is in some way tied with Bob Moulds hitting one
Oh.
over in the Peñuelas Guayanilla game. And are there any other ones? Those are the only ones that are currently active, but this game being one of the late ones, I can easily imagine there being earlier games where home runs were hit. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Stack got to collect himself there and face Cameron Evans, who is also 1 for 5 against him. The Naves lineup certainly not enjoying what they just saw, as that sinker is in there for a strike, 0-1. They know they're going to have an uphill battle getting that run back. Curveball misses high. Stack really let that one go a little bit too early. And then he misses inside with a fastball. Stonehand maybe should make sure his pitcher is doing okay, as he gets a big swing at the sinker, and that misses. It's a 2-2 count. Let's see what Stack wants to do here. Get his first out. Instead, he throws the sinker low and away. Evans does not go for it. So that'll bring us to a full count. And you know what that means. It's the 6 words everyone loves to hear during a ball game.
Here we go.
This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
3-2. And it's a walk. Everton Stack putting himself in some trouble here with the go-ahead run on first and no outs. Welcome, viewers. As you come in, we are at the top of the second. Julio Rubio has just tied this game 1-1 for the Soles de Luquillo with a wall scraper of a home run to right, but it's a home run, and that means the game is, in fact, tied. Marcos Picard, whom longtime LMP viewers will remember hit his first home run off of Ted Balloon, is up next.
Amazing.
Man on first and no outs, and Picard fouls that one off. Line drive backwards, 0-1. Fastball, right down the middle. Picard goes for the sac bunt. Stack has it. He makes the throw to first and gets the short out. So it'll be a successful sac hit, the first of the year for Marcos. He will move the runner into scoring position there with 1 out. Here comes Vicente Hernandez, the left fielder, who used to be a Lobo de Arecibo, came over from there in a trade on March 7th, 1904. First pitch to him is also low. A fastball, 1-0. All the control pitching we had seen from Stack in the first inning, quite a bit less present here.
Uh-oh.
As he gets that curveball strike, 1-1. We've got a bit of a buffet inning. 1 ball, 1 runner, 1 strike, and 1 out.
You think he's feeling the pressure?
Perhaps, I think. A little bit there. Foul ball. You don't want to be giving a home run up in the second inning of your first start. That's just a bad look all around. But here he gets the pop-up from Vicente Hernandez, and Wally Balk is there to gather it. So it'll be out number 2, and it'll bring up Prisco Santiago. Over the course of his career, his 20th century career, has hit 262. 38 years old, traded from the Taínos a couple years ago in one of the moves that allowed them to go get Jacques Centur, our old friend. Comes up with 2 outs and a man on second. As Stack throws a splitter inside, and it's a ball. Santiago does not go for it, showing off that batting eye he used to be famous for. Throws a fastball the other way and gets the call. Strike 1. That is swung on, lifted down the right field line, but it'll be foul. As it lands there in the corner, and Frank peels off. So let's see if Stack has one more strike in him here, as this has been a 20-pitch inning for him, 21 in fact. Splitter misses high and inside, so it's a 2-2 count now. Stack misses very high and tight with the sinker there. So back-to-back full counts for him, and here comes yet another payoff pitch. Swings on that one, lifts it into left field. Santiago chasing it down, and he's got it. Puts the glove up and ends the inning. A damaging half frame as the Soles are able to tie it. But the Naves now have a chance against Ramon Chavez, out of whom they already got 24 pitches in that first inning.
Here we go.
Frank, Ham, and Spike, which sounds like 3 random characters from a Looney Tunes about construction workers.
I was gonna say, it sounds like 3 inscrutable words in secret diner language. You know, like all the secret words they know about eggs in diners.
I do think
Frank, Ham, and Spike.
Frank and Spike, I'll grant you. I feel like in a diner, secret language using ham would be confusing.
Just put some ham on it. Yeah, you're right.
Right. But they're the ones charged with trying to get ahead of Chavez here, who is through 1 inning with 2 hits and a strikeout. Frank, weird to see him batting 7th. Can't lie. Perhaps it's because he's one of the few righties in this lineup, and basically he's just less of a power hitter than Balk. Great all-around player. Last year led the league in runs scored. 1 year after leading it in runs batted in. Had an on-base percentage of 368. We would sure like to see some devil magic from him here. As he takes ball 1 on the fastball, 1-0. Chavez with the second pitch. It is just barely in the zone, but it's called strike 1 to even the count. The 1-1 pitch coming up next. Del Castillo swings right through the fastball, and so far, this does not seem to be in evidence. Let's see if Frank can retool a little bit, change his approach, and get back into this at-bat. 1-2 pitch coming in. Del Castillo bounces that one, and I think if that's a play, that's a web gem. But it is not, unfortunately. Priamo Agosto tried to let go of the ball before he was sure he had it, and it gets past Santiago. That will be an error, and then Castillo will take second base as the throw ends up in the audience.
Nice.
At least it's a souvenir for somebody.
Very true.
Man on second with no outs for Graham Underwood. Louisa, do you want to talk to the viewers about Graham Underwood?
Graham Underwood is my special little guy. Because I am a supporter of the LNP, and if you are a supporter, you get to create your own player on the team. And this is my guy, center fielder, Graham Underwood, from England, playing in Puerto Rico. And the thing I love to see is stealing. So, he's okay at hitting, Graham is. But he's very good at stealing, and I love that, and I always hope he can get on base just so I can see him steal. It's nice to have my own customized guy.
His homework, by the way, was to increase his plate discipline so he can get on base more often, and he actually did pretty well at it.
Yes, good.
So we're hoping that he's going to put that to good use. His usual batting approach has been very much, he can hit anything, so you never know quite what to throw him. When he got a little bit more disciplined, it actually hurt him because now pitchers found him a little more predictable. We're hoping that with increasing that discipline, we're going to see better at-bats, longer at-bats that have better results. He did quite well during spring training, that's for sure.
Good.
He comes up in a pretty ideal situation, man on second with no outs, so he can't hit into a double play, as he immediately swings on that first pitch, and it goes foul. Even though it decidedly landed in fair territory.
Yeah! It looked like it boinked off that pole right there.
That is exactly what it did, onto the fair side, and yet the umpires ruled it foul. Fastball. Let's see what happens next on the 0-1 pitch. Swings on that one, down the other way. That will also go foul. And this time for real. So 2 quick strikes on Ham Underwood, although that's some good power hitting. We don't usually see long line drives from him like that. Neither one was close to the zone, a fastball and a cutter. So let's see what Chavez tries here. With 2 strikes. Underwood knocks that one, also foul. For a second, I thought that one was going to land behind Santiago and we'd be off and running. Alas. We're still at 2 strikes. Let's see what Chavez tries next. And he got him. Second strikeout of the day for Ramon Chavez, as he gets a swing and miss on a fastball in the corner. Says Will, out of the park foul calls haven't improved in the update. Well, you missed this, but we're still in out of the park 25 because out of the park 26 proved to be a mess. So anyway, man on second and 1 out for Spike Stonehand, the catcher, who once upon a time was the most exciting hitter on this team because you literally never knew what was going to happen with him. He's gotten better. I don't remember what he did in the offseason. We can check. It's not hard.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. Is that surprising for a catcher? I feel like I've asked this before, but I do not ever retain the information.
Oh, this poor guy. He actually got worse at contact hitting.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How can training make him worse?
The wrong kind of training. He hangs out with the bad hitting coach, that sort of thing. At any rate.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Feed the pigeons some clay, etc., etc. Go down where people say y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, last year he actually so there is a developmental paradox with catchers where at this point, in when I say at this point, I'm talking about 2025, not 1906,
Mm-hmm.
where if you know that a guy is not going to be able to catch at the major league level, or in fact, if you have any doubts about it, move him to a different position and train him as a batter.
Okay.
He can always be a utility catcher or a backup catcher or something like that, but if you don't think that he can catch at a major league level, you are better off prioritizing his hitting because these days being a catcher is such a scouting heavy job, such a hardcore constant preparation job that you get no time to be in the batting cage. So either
Okay.
you are generationally good at hitting and therefore can stick as a hitting catcher, or you're going to be a defensive mind first and foremost.
Okay, that makes sense.
Spike, very much that, by the way. Won the catching fielding award, I believe, twice in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely incredible behind the plate, which is why it's very sad that this may well be his last season in Sapphire. So here's hoping he goes out with another championship on the record. Here, though, to start that journey, he's got to bring in Frank from second. Can he do it? As, let's see here, sinker is in there on 1. That cutter misses, 1-1. Stonehand bounces that one to third base. Agosto has it, throws to first. Frank makes it over to third. So he does move the runner over at the cost of his own out. And the batting lineup will turn over for Rob Feaster, who is now 125 in 24 at bats against Chavez. So that's 3 hits over that length of time. With a man on third and 2 outs, can Rob get the go ahead run in? And even if he can they hold it? Not like that, he can. Feaster misses the changeup completely. 0-1. Chavez misses high with the sinker. 1-1. And low with the changeup. 2-1. Not interested in making it easy for Rob here as he misses low with the fastball. Rob, very much a disciplined hitter. Very much the kind of batting eye that the Navegadores otherwise are very low on. It's one reason he's such a good leadoff hitter for them. 3-1 count. And he walks him. Chavez gives up his first walk of the game and puts runners on the corners with 2 outs. It's up to the Font of Wisdom, who is 0-1 on the day. Chavez had 40 pitches here. As Feaster takes off running for second, and the first stolen base of the 1906 Naguabo season belongs to Rob Feaster. Who could have possibly predicted it? With a 1-0 count, Sherdloo still at the plate. Sinker is in there, strike 1. 2 on, 2 outs, 1-1 count. Sherdloo swings through the cutter, 1-2, and I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling too good about this next one.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going to happen. 1-2 count. Ugh! Strike
Oh,
out
man.
looking. The third for Ramon Chavez there on the fastball, and the score remains unchanged. We are still tied 1-1. We're going to let everybody know how things are going, but in the meantime, let's have another of our confidence checks. Louisa, how are you feeling now?
I'm still pretty confident. I think if they can just keep up with hitting, they'll be fine. The fielding on the Naves side is going to be easy. The Soles don't seem to be able to field at all. They've got this if they can just hit the ball.
We hope that you are correct. Let's put it that way, because this is going to be very frustrating if that is not the case.
Are you less confident? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The fact that Everton Stack gave up a home run that early in the game is worrisome to me.
Yeah.
That should have been the kind of mistake a tired pitcher makes.
Fair enough. I consider that to be just like a fluke, but It definitely isn't a good one.
You're probably closer to the truth than I am, and I thank you for keeping us more grounded and realistic. The real question here is whether Stack, who seemed to get a little discombobulated after that home run, whether he's, back to normal here, whether he can hold the tie and let them escape with a 1-1 score. Because obviously, if they have to hit from behind against Ramon Chavez, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I feel like he could. He seems like a pretty even-keeled pitcher, don't you think? I mean, compared to
Stack?
Ted, of course. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. But I mean, who
So
isn't even keeled compared to Ted?
that's true. But I feel like he can get back in a good headspace. If he doesn't let this phase him, he'll be okay.
I hope that's true. All right, here goes nothing. Everton Stack against Aldo Aguilar, the catcher. Stack at 29 pitches, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run on a homer, and 1 walk. No strikeouts yet, which is very strange for our boy Everton. Aguilar watches that sinker high and tight there, 1-0. I wonder if there's a game planning issue here. Something where they're, gets a big swing and miss on that splitter, 1-1. Something where they decided they were going to pitch high and inside more often.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Is that called a strike? It is the curveball. He gets that call again, and it's 1-2. Can he punch out Aguilar here, get himself some confidence? Aguilar says no. He will foul that off, and we'll stay at 1-2. A splitter again, and really, what Aguilar was doing making contact with that is a great question for everyone to ponder.
Mm-hmm.
We will expect your answers next week when we stream. Aguilar hits that to Sherdlu. He runs to his left, grabs it, transfers, throws over, and that is out number 1. The batting lineup turns over, and here comes Priamo Agosto, who is 0 for 1 on the day. Agosto, of course, grounded out against Stack, and here, trying to get that same ground ball, he misses and hits the plate with a sinker. Stonehand has to catch it on the bounce back there. 1-0. Next pitch is inside with a curveball, 2-0. Very afraid of a guy who's not that great a hitter. What is Stack doing? None of those 3 pitches have been particularly close.
Oh boy.
It's a hitter's count. And then Stack goes for the gentleman's strike.
Okay.
Just in case, we're already going to start warming somebody up.
Oh boy.
It's certainly possible that Everton didn't get the chance to recover from his meniscus tear the way he should have. Although he gets the foul there, that'll bring us to a full count. And you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
Knocked through Sherdlu to his right, but he drops it.
Oh no! Sherdlu, how could you? How could you do this?
Slick ball there, and the first error of the Navegadores season belongs to the font of wisdom, ironically. I suppose true wisdom is in knowing that you can make mistakes.
Sure.
With a man on first and 1 out, here comes Eusebio Saldaña, who's 0 for 1. As there is a pickoff attempt there, Agosto back in plenty of time. Stack, another pickoff attempt. A throw to the plate here, as Agosto does not go, and that fastball misses inside 1-0. A third pickoff attempt from Stack, but it's not in time. There's an attempt at a bunt, but Saldaña will foul it off, and it's 1-1. He gets the strike on the splitter. 1-1. Next pitch to him, as Agosto is easily able to steal second. He's not even that fast.
And they tried to scare him, and it didn't work.
Not even a little bit. You almost feel like he took that one out of spite. Man on second and 1 out with a 1-2 count. He's got to go for the strikeout here. And instead, he
Not
hits
like
the dirt with a curveball, 2-2.
Boy.
And he got it anyway. A check swing.
Oh, okay.
The umpire says he went around, and Saldana strikes out. The first for Everton Stack. And with 2 outs and a man on second, here comes Kaylee Murphy, who is 0 for 1 on the day. He, of course, grounded out last time. And boy, Murphy swings right through the fastball, 0-1. Trying to get ahead of Stack already. Swings through the splitter, 0-2. 2 quick strikes. Let's see if Everton can at least get out of this one. 3 strikes, 3 pitches. Sit down.
Wow. Wow.
Kaylee Murphy, an elite contact hitter, goes down swinging easily on fastballs and a splitter. And the Navegadores are out of it with the tie, despite the Shirley error putting a man on base.
Amazing.
Here comes Vidal Santiago, who, of course, has one of the 2 hits the Navegadores have managed against Ramon Chavez. Vidal Santiago is, well, he hits like a Mack truck off of Chavez. Over 400 in 22 at-bats.
Wow.
Ramon Chavez,
All right.
through 2 innings, has thrown 44 pitches, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Let's see if Lady Luck is with Vidal tonight.
Mm-hmm.
As that is, he lays off the fastball just in time, 1 out. Santiago has a particular way of gripping that bat to check his swing that I think really helps the umpires make that decision. It's very obvious when he pulls back on a swing.
Yeah.
Sinker is in there, 1-1. Very late swing on the changeup, 1-2.
Man. Good.
He knocks that one into right field, but it will go foul.
Oh, what a shame. Looks so good.
It sounded good too, but unfortunately, that's what it is. We stay at 1-2, a changeup right down the middle. If he'd been right on the timing, that's down for extra bases. Instead, the next pitch, 1-2, he watches the changeup miss outside, 2-2. Chavez already starting to flag a little bit here on the energy meter, so if they can keep this going, keep the long at-bats going, they've got a chance, as that changeup misses, and Chavez brings him to a full count. So you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
3-2. Santiago hits that one to the shortstop. Picard has it, throws over. And looks like they got him easily. A good play from Marcos Picard as he throws over to Santiago, and that's out number 1. A 7-pitch at bat ends in an out, the first of the inning. Here comes Pablo Salmeron, who had that RBI double that Julio Rubio immediately spoiled. Let's see if he can keep this inning going. Salmeron usually, once he gets his double, gets a little bit, well, he does that, is what I meant to say. Soft grounder to Picard, and it's rinse and repeat, as it's an easy throw to Santiago, and Salmeron is out on 1 pitch. So not much of an extension for the inning, and it falls to Wally Bach, who's 0 for 1 on the day, to try and get something going here with 2 outs. Early game, a lot of baseball left, but the more pressure they can put on Chavez, the better, as Bach swings right through the sinker, 0-1. Second pitch to him. Misses low, 1-1. Another sinker, by the way. Bach swings through the fastball, 1-2. So he's already in the hole here. And I think Chavez is about to punch him out. Not quite. He tries to get cute with it. Throws the sinker low and away. And it's 2-2 instead. Throws another one. Bach stings that one down the right field line, but it will be foul. Very unfortunate. That could have been dangerous. So we'll stay at 2-2. Chavez now at 57 pitches. 13-pitch inning from Chavez. Bach hits that one right to Picard's glove on the line drive. And as it turns out, all 3 outs were ground outs to the shortstop. Now, you could read that as a good thing and say that means they weren't striking out. They were actually making contact with the ball. Or you can say that they should be hitting it anywhere but the person who handles the majority of infield outs. So, it's up to you. Before we continue, however, I'm going to put a marker in and we are going to have a word from another of our wonderful sponsors. Louisa, the booth is yours.
Thank you. Folks, I want to tell you about some exciting new developments at Senores Verges and Company. The address is 37 Calle de San Francisco, just 2 blocks west of Farmacia Giametti, where you will already be to get your wood tar liquor. Thanks to the last English steamer arriving at this port from Europe, this establishment received an extensive assortment of hair well suited to make any item you desire. We can assure you that you will be satisfied with not only the quality of our labor, but also with the fairness of our prices. If necessary, we can provide you with a way to take your own measurements for the elaboration of your hairpiece. We also boast a great variety of English perfumes, also recently arrived at reasonable prices, including the famous Sicilian Renovator, guaranteed to make gray hairs vanish in less than 8 days for only $1 a bottle, and Agua de Barcelona, among the world's most celebrated eau de toilette. This is very exciting. Hair pieces. That I love thinking about it in a weird costumey way. I'm thinking of the hairstyles women had in 1906. We're getting to the Gibson girl era, so you had a lot of hair piled right up top on your head. And I know a lot of women used rolls, fabric rolls, or hair rolls that you used under your hair to make it seem like you had more hair. I wonder if they do anything like that. I suppose you wouldn't need real hair for that. If you're using real hair, it's probably going to be an elaborate hairstyle. And they probably made whole wigs. It sounds like it anyway.
They, in fact, did.
Aha!
I believe, so you read the name of the proprietors, but there's also the name of the business itself, I believe, on the line above that.
Oh, I wasn't sure what I was looking at here for these names. Okay. Are we talking about El Buen Tono?
El Buen Tono, the Bon Ton, yeah.
Okay.
Or the type of business, I did find this out. Wig maker at the time would have been called a perruquerie, which is a French term for a wig maker.
Uh-huh.
Weirdly, in Espanol, peluqueria, which is derived from that term, now just means a hair salon.
Oh, okay. So someone who does work with hair, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Pelo is hair, so that makes some amount of sense. But yes, interesting that it would be generalized from specifically a wig maker to something more just any kind of styling.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I also wonder about that hair dye. I wonder how well that would have worked.
Will says,
I feel like...
mm-hmm. Go on.
Yes, I was going to say, I feel like even when I was a child in the 1980s, hair dye was not very good. Like, people complained about it a lot. And it got on your clothes and it left your head pretty quickly. So, I don't know how good it was in 1906.
I am only familiar with hair dye in the context of old Cuban men trying to dye their hair jet black and finding out that their hair did not have enough melanin to make that happen, or even the ability to absorb that much melanin, and so instead they were all walking around with maroon hair.
Oh boy. That's a classic. That and blue-haired old ladies.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it boy, I can only imagine what this would have been like. And cannot be good, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We're just letting everybody know that, Julio Rubio, the guy who tied the game, is coming back up for the top of the fourth. So this ought to be fun. If you're if you're excited about the possibility of more dingers in this game. Will asks in the chat, where did this hair arrive from? Which means I get to use the same joke that I
Uh-huh.
used on you when we first
Uh-huh.
discussed this one. I can only assume that it is from wives who want to get a good Christmas present for their husbands.
Terrible.
I don't
You
know.
know,
This is the right. O. Henry could have theoretically been inspired by this story, by this
it's
commercial.
true. I was gonna give a hair fact from 200 years before. No, 100. 150, let's say,
Oh wow,
before
we're
this
splitting the
time period.
difference. Cool.
We're splitting hairs. But it was said in the 1700s, when powdered wigs were so important, that you wanted hair. If you could afford a wig that was made from hair that had already turned white, you don't need to powder it as much.
So
And the
white
most
hair.
val yes, huh?
So white hair was prized.
Yes.
Awesome.
And the most prized of white hair was white hair from a person who was a redhead when they were younger. And I don't know why that's true, but they felt it was whiter than other hair. So, there's a little hair fact for you.
That's seems unscientific in the extreme, but there you have
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this the opposite of the enlightenment spirit that I've been told so much about?
Yeah, everyone's full of, multitudes.
Yeah. Walt Whitman, noted enlightenment thinker.
Yeah, he just kind of casually said, yeah,
Hmm.
everyone's full of multitudes. He's famous for that.
He did. It's very true. It's in one of those letters where he confessed to having an affair with Oscar Wilde or whatever. So, baseball, top of the fourth inning. Everton Stack is back out. He is on 48 pitches. He's allowed a hit, an earned run, has a walk, but he finally picked up two of those wonderful strikeouts. And he faces Julio Rubio, the batter that he is already afraid of because Rubio victimized him for a home run back in the second inning. Says Will, I need some wood tar liquor just to handle the bad jokes about hair.
That'll help you regrow your hair,
Now, I was going to
apparently.
say, you know what that will do is it'll put some hair on your chest.
Yeah, for sure.
As that splitter is fouled off 0-1. Rubio just seems to have the timing down here. As he doesn't go, he checks his swing successfully on the curveball 1-1. They've got to try something to confuse him, or every at bat. Oh, hello! He gets a bouncer to Wally Balk. He throws overhand, and that should be a good little ground out. And it is indeed a 53rd Street ground out,
Mm-hmm.
third base to first. Here comes Cameron Evans with the bases empty and one out. He walked, I believe, last time he came up.
I would expect one of these Rubios to actually be blonde, but they never are.
That is also to Wally Balk as he throws across the hallway. That's out number two. Granted, in Puerto Rico, a lot of those blonde hair, speaking as a former blonde, does not
Mm-hmm.
survive long in Puerto Rico. You
I was
would
also
think,
blonde as a child.
yeah, you would think it would get bleached out by the sun, but instead
Mm-hmm.
something different seems to happen where instead it just keeps getting browner.
Okay.
Two outs for Marcos Picard, who had that sack bunt last time, so he technically is batting triple zeros right now, and on
Wow.
base percentaging triple zeros and slugging triple zeros. Inside with that fastball, 1-0. This is more like it from Everton, as he misses again. Okay, that's less like it from Everton, as he misses with that curveball, 2-0. Throws that one away. I would have to say that 2-3-0 counts in maybe an inning and a half. That's not within the usual range of stack starts that you like to see. It's not within what we would call the Everton window.
I don't like that we call it that.
Strike is in there, 3-1.
Stack starts, though, is good.
as he somehow manages to get the call on that strike two. And that brings us to yet another Everton full stack, you might say. So
Yeah,
this
there we
will
go.
be a pancake pitch, payoff pitch.
Woo!
Got him! Another strikeout from
Nice.
Everton Stack to finish the inning. And he retires the side. The Navegadores get a clean inning. So batters got to put their hitting shoes on and get rolling because Stack is giving them everything he can. Here comes Ramon Chavez. 3 innings, 58 pitches, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He faces Benji Valdez, who is 0 for 1, but hits another guy who hits well off of Chavez. 346 average with a small sample
Put their
sizes.
hitting shoes on and get rolling, huh?
Hmm?
I'm gonna remember that one. I said batters gotta put their hitting shoes on and get rolling. I'm gonna remember that one.
Okay. Sinker misses low, 1-0. He does not go around on the cutter, 2-0, so he's well ahead of Chavez here. Fastball misses inside. Chavez aware of Valdez's reputation against him, trying to avoid a direct confrontation here. And he walks him on 4 pitches. Wow. I know Will is in the chat and everything, but I can't lie. I am shocked. I really expected Chavez to go after him eventually. And it probably would have worked, if we're being honest. But that means the leadoff man is aboard for Frank de Castillo, who is 0 for 1. My guess is Valdez is going to try to steal within the first 2 pitches of this at-bat. Give Frank a chance here. As there he goes. Are they going to get him? That ball seems to be there already, but he is safe. Somehow Benji Valdez avoids the tag and makes it to base. So he'll be in scoring position with no outs for Frank de Castillo. Let's see if Frank can make this happen. Would be nice to get his first hit of the season here, as instead he fouls that off and lands in the hole. Very, very little dribbler there. 0-2 with 2 strikes here. Let's see what Chavez will do against him. He misses inside and down. It's a cutter, 1-2. Sends that one away, and De Castillo bounces that one to third. Augusto has it, throws across the hallway, and that's out number 1. Valdez can't advance on that one. So here comes Ham Underwood. He's 0 for 1. He had a bit of an interesting at-bat last time. He hit those line drives well, but unfortunately just could not get them in the right location. Let's see if we can find out how well he's done against Chavez, as he struck out when he came up in the second. He is hitting .391 against Chavez so far in his career.
Amazing.
He could make something happen here. As there goes Valdez, breaking for third. It's a daring steal, and he's there in plenty of time. The first Navegador to 2 stolen bases is, in fact, Benji Valdez, who currently holds the postseason stolen base record. He stole 20 in 1904. And, by the way, stole another 14 in 1905. Man on third with 1 out for Underwood. If he can get something into the outfield, that should score the run. The 1-0 pitch. He hits that one hard to Picard. And it'll be an RBI ground out from Ham Underwood. The Navegadores will be ahead after that. So he gets the job done. He brings in the run, and the Navegadores are back in it. They are ahead of the Soles here in the bottom of the 4th. I know you probably would have preferred him to get on base, but at least he got the job done.
Yep, that's something. It's good.
Here comes Spike Stonehand. I mean, currently he is one of only 2 Navegadores with a run batted in.
Nice.
Here comes Spike Stonehand, who is 0 for 1, and he's got only 16 at-bats against Chavez, in which he's hitting under 200. 2 outs and the base is empty. Let's see if Stonehand can extend the inning. And he sure does. He lines one up the middle,
nice.
And Spike will be on base.
Excellent.
Beautifully done, splitting the infield there for Spike. And here comes Rob Feaster, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk and a stolen base. Can he keep this going? Ramon Chavez just threw his nicest pitch of the night, and it got delivered right back through the box. For those of you who are new, it's the nicest pitch of his night because it was number 69.
Nice.
Feaster, sinker inside, ball 1. Sometimes I wonder if that joke gets us in any trouble with viewers if like there are people who don't come to watch because we do that. And you know what?
I
That's
would like to
fine.
know that.
We don't want
Yeah,
them.
I would like to know if anyone has a problem with that.
So Feaster hits that one to second base. Kaylee Murphy, plenty of time to make the throw over to first, and the inning is over. So 1 run in, 1 run stranded. The Navegadores are now ahead as we close out the fourth inning, 2-1. Louisa, how are we feeling?
Good. I feel like I've been vindicated a little bit, and it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I was a little too confident at first, but I still believe that they will win this one. How do you feel?
That the fact that they were able to respond in that way, if you've got guys like this is a cliche, and I hate the fact that it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. If you've got the bottom of the lineup contributing the way that Ham just did, finding a way to get that run in, even at the cost of an out, all you need is the run that your opponent has not scored. So if you can stay a run ahead of them, you are going to win a lot of ball games. 1 run game magic is usually responsible for things like surprising playoff runs or an incredible record. It's the ability to always show up and fight in a circumstance like that. Benji Valdez with that daring steal, incredible stuff. After he nearly got tacked out at second, you really have to wonder, how did he get the confidence back up to say, I'm going to try for third. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get myself in position, and Ham is going to knock me in. That's exactly what happened. Spike getting the timing down against Chavez could be big later on in the game. We're seeing good stuff. It hasn't exploded yet. But you also have to remember that other teams are allowed to employ good pitchers.
Oh, they're always up to something, those other teams.
Let's see here. Graham Underwood gets the job done. Bring in Benji Valdez. Shortly after he becomes the first Navegador to steal 2 bases in 1906. It really is wonderful to be back calling these games. We really enjoyed having 2 weeks off from streaming, and there are times that our voices probably would not have taken the extra stress, but you know what? We missed this. Seeing Navegadores baseball is just so exciting. They're a team that likes to do the little things well. They like to get the runner over. They like to move them over. And I just wrote Ford inning, not fourth. I wrote 4RD. That's what I wrote.
There we go.
The weird part is that I remembered to change it for 3. So it does say the third inning correctly, but didn't remember for 4.
It's fine. A lot of sign writers don't seem to notice that either.
Or whether the 4 is pointing the right way.
Yes.
All right. Let's just make sure everyone on Mastodon also knows.
I like the feeling that we can trust the Naves to have good fielding and to work together well as a team. So even when Ted's on the mound and he's throwing whatever kind of crazy pitch and people are hitting them left and right, we know the fielding is there as a safety net.
I still marvel at the time I watched Benji close out a game by picking a ball up in front of him and then throwing around his body to get the out behind him at second base. I don't know that I've ever seen that in real life.
Amazing. That's so good.
Here we go. Top of the 5th. Everton Stack. 58 pitches over 4 innings. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Faces Hernandez, Santiago, and Aguilar. First up. Good mix of sapphire and gold shirts here. And the interesting bit there is that the gold shirts could technically be supporting either team.
That's true.
Fastball fouled off 0-1.
That's what a local politician would wear to not have to choose.
Yes, the Ted Cruz of the Puerto Rican 1906 Northeast. Just kidding. We would never. Not the LNP version, anyway. Fastball away, 0-2. And if he existed and was cursing our team, I feel like there would be repercussions. Anyway, that is out to Graham Underwood. How do you feel about that? That's the first out he's handled.
I love when they stand under it and they just pluck it out of the air like it's an apple off a tree. Oh,
exactly.
So good.
Funnily enough, by the way, when it's raining or there's been a lot of errors, one way you know they're going to get the out, here's a little tip behind the scenes, is if they only put up the one glove. It means they're confident about it.
Oh, good to know.
Here we go. Prisco Santiago, 0 for 1 on the day. Oh, here comes the rain. First pitch to Santiago is inside with a sinker, 1-0. Knocks that one. Lanced hit down the right field line, but probably going foul to even the count, 1-1. Mm-hmm. That is indeed what happens. 2 sinkers so far for him. Knocks that one foul. That one might have even been called ball 2. He turned that one into a strike by doing that. So now let's see Everton Stack. Can he finish him off here with the 2 strikes? Nope. That is hit down the left field line, but it is foul. Hey, at least he also didn't get to enjoy that one. Umpire has a very weird foul territory, given that it's clearly marked with white lines and poles, but...
Yep.
So it's a 1-2 count. Let's try that again. Let's see if Stack can... He misses low with a fastball, 2-2. Can he do any better on this? He got him! Curveball inside, and Stack gets his 4th K of the night, as he will now face Aldo Aguilar with the bases empty and 2 outs. Aguilar 0 for 1. Stack is just barely low with the fastball, 1-0. Aguilar here, the catcher, swings through the fastball, 1-1. Just a little bit at the low end of the zone. Stack, next pitch. It's hit. It's into right field. That's going to land. At least it didn't take him very long to get that hit. Short right. Aguilar, not a fast runner, so here comes Priamo Agosto, who's over 2 on the night. Stack here could get him out any number of ways, but he needs to do it post-haste. Agosto reached base last time on the Sherlew error. And here, Stack starts him off with a sinker that he thought was in the zone, but the umpire doesn't like it. 1-0. Agosto hits that one down the left field line, doesn't quite make it past third base. It's a foul ball, 1-1. That should be a strike, and it is a fastball. Can Stack end the inning here? That's the question. That is hit hard, and that's a base hit. So they'll have 2 on with 2 outs, and they've really extended the inning as Aguilar advances to second. Here comes Eusebio Saldaña, who's 0 for 2. Boy, this inning should have been over 2 batters ago, and now it's officially time to get nervous. Mm-hmm. First pitch to Saldaña. He knocks that one. Another base hit. 3 base hits in a row. And it looks like they're going to try and run the tying run. And it's going to score. That throw is late. Stonehand can't make it happen. And Eusebio Saldaña ties up the game for Luquillo here.
Oh, no.
It's 2-2 now. As an inning that should have been over some time ago comes back to bite Stack there. My God. What was that?
I'm feeling less confident. I'm losing some of my confidence now.
You and Will both. Kaylee Murphy is up next. He's 0 for 2 as well, but who knows what that means anymore. Kaylee Murphy knocks that one through the box, and we are officially off and running. The Soles are going to try to run that one in, and it looks like they're going to get it too. Another run.
What?
And the Soles are now leading. They are ahead 3-2 after that RBI single. Kaylee Murphy puts them on top. And boy, has this inning just gotten completely away from them. Stack now at 76 pitches. He's allowed 3 earned runs. This should never have happened.
No. Are you going to pull him?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I am going to start warming people up, which, thank God, there are more options this late in the game. Mm-hmm. He'll face Julio Rubio, who's 1 for 2 with a ribby, which came on a solo home run. Stack misses with a fastball, 1-0. Fastball is inside, 2-0. That fastball is in there for a strike, 2-1. That is not foul, 2-2. Can they get the out here? Is the question. 2-2. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners, and 2 outs. And he got him.
All right.
That should never have happened. But at least Rubio doesn't get to show off his power hitting again. And the Soles, 4 hits and 2 runs later, have taken the lead here in the top of the 5th. If you wanted an exciting ball game, guess what? You've got it. As the Naves now with Shirley, Santiago, and Salmeron, the killer S's, get ready to bat against Ramon Chavez, who is at 71 innings, or 71 pitches over 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Shirley struck out back in the 2nd inning. That was his last plate appearance here. Let's see, what do we have for him? Do we have his numbers against Chavez? Hitting .269 against Chavez. Not particularly good. And, of course, this is when they choose to call a rain delay. 31-minute rain delay. Ramon Chavez a little bit more tired, and we're going to make sure that we've got relievers ready to go just in case, because that presumably means Stack will be as well. As Chavez gets that cutter in there for a strike, 0-1. Let's see if they can take advantage of Chavez having to sit, his arm getting cold for a bit. Fastball up and in, 1-1. Changeup misses, 2-1. Can Shirley, as he hits that one foul, says, well, the rain delays seem much faster when you don't have Joe Buck talking through the whole thing. I have been working on my Joe Buck impression. It's not very good yet, but I'm trying. I rehearse it by doing that tweet about, welcome to the top of the 47th. Sun is getting bigger.
I don't know that one.
It's very good. I believe David Letterman said something about a man who had been clinically dead for 4.5 minutes or something, and when he was asked, what was your experience of the afterlife of clinical death like, he said it was like listening to Phil Rizzuto during a rain delay. 2-2 count. Can Shirley get on base? Ooh, great take from the font of wisdom there, as he brings those to a full count, and you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch, though before we do that, I would like to note that the entire top of the Solis lineup is now hitting triple threes.
Amazing.
Aguilar is hitting 500, by the way. A walk.
Okay.
3rd walk for Ramon Chavez, leadoff man aboard with no outs, and here comes Vida Santiago, who's 1 for 2. Can he make it happen here? It was, after all, his bad throw that allowed the leading run to score, as the runner is back. Pardon me, sorry, his scored the tying run. Santiago checks his swing on the sinker, 1-0. That one is also low, 2-0. Chavez throwing pitch number 80, and he misses again. 3-0. 3 sinkers, all low. So we know what he's trying to avoid. Interesting. I don't think that was a full gentleman strike. He actually missed low without... Or he didn't miss low, but that was low in the zone. The gentleman strike is supposed to be right down the middle.
Yeah.
So on the 3-1 count, let's see what he's got. Santiago fouls that one away. And that was a strike, so good on him for swinging. Let's see what happens now. Another payoff pitch coming in. He walks him as well. Back-to-back walks.
Wow.
To put 2 on with no outs for Pablo Salmeron. It's a 1-2 count, and Pablito here could really cement his position as a DH early if he comes through. Mm-hmm. As Chavez misses outside with a sinker, 1-0. See here. Bounces that one to second base. That's a single out, and do they get the double play? They do!
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
Ugh.
Murphy is able to fire to Picard at second, who throws over to Santiago, and they get the twin killing. So Wally Balk now only has the runner at third to work with, pardon me. To balk with, you might say. Chavez has really gotten some incredible luck here from the Naves. Yeah. Wally Balk, 0 for 2 on the day. Can he bring in the tying run? He lined out to Picard last time. If that had been a couple inches higher, it gets over Picard's head and we have an extended inning. Maybe things go better, but let's see what's going to happen here. Bourgeois and Hancock will be taking the bullpen as that pitch. Balk misses right through. He swings right through what absolutely would have been ball 2. 1-1 count. That misses as well. So Balk will be ahead, though it should be a 3-1 count right now. And it is anyway, so no worries there. Let's see what Chavez does next as he throws pitch number 90. Balk hits that one down the left field line, but not quite fair, unfortunately. So here comes yet another payoff pitch. He fouls that one off as well. So we'll keep rolling here. Well, literally, in the case of the baseballs. He walks him. 5th walk for Ramon Chavez here to bring up Benji Valdez, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. That Bach walk gives Benji some options here with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Let's see what the team captain of the Naves can do here.
Here we go now.
We sure do, as that's ball 1. That's ball 2 on the cutter. Benji knocks that one. It's a big can of corn into left field. Should be very catchable out there, and it is indeed. So once again, Ramon Chavez gets out of it.
Ugh.
Well, that was a bit of a damp squib of an inning.
Yeah, what a shame. I'm not feeling as confident anymore. I was so confident.
Mm-hmm. This has not been incredible Navegadores baseball for the past couple innings, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to let everybody know that things are going deeply wrong. Will says, I share Louisa's lack of confidence. Same. I think we're all on the same page here. Do I have the characters to make it happen? Desapercibido. Yes, I do. Awesome. Boy. Well, you do have to admit that, it wasn't generally errors. It wasn't, it was, generally speaking, good hitting that got the Naves in this hole. Rather good hitting by the opposing team.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to, they have to, pardon me, they have to do the hardest thing in baseball. Pick themselves up after not doing a good job and get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Get back to the regular account. There we go. Okay. All right. On to the 6. Cameron Evans coming up. And, boy, we pressed one a little bit too early. Stack misses with that fastball. Stack is at 80, was at 81 pitches over 5 innings, having allowed 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Cameron Evans is 0 for 1 plus a walk. We're going to see if Stack can at least give us... Oh, there we go. It's a pop-up into foul territory. Will it make the stance, or will they be able to catch it? Stonehand makes the catch. It's out number 1 on the sinker. Here comes Picard, who's over one with a sack hit. Picard watches that sinker miss inside, 1-0. If Stack can at least give us 6 innings, then turning it over to the bullpen will hurt a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
As that is fouled off 1-1 with the fastball. He misses low to fall behind the Luquillo shortstop there, 2-1. Picard hits that one down the right field line and evens the count as it will be fouled, 2-2 now. Let's see what happens here. Can he finish him off? Picard hits that one and the hit parade continues. I don't know what they've got on Stack, if the scouting report is just eerily accurate or what, but that's another base hit from them. And here comes Vicente Hernandez, who is over 2. Stack not much longer on the mound at the rate this is going. As he watches that pitch low, he's trying for the sack hit, 1-0 count. Goes for the bunt down the first baseline. They've got it, throw to first, and it is a successful sacrifice hit, and here's a dangerous situation. Man on second with 2 outs. We know how this went last time. They should have been able to close out the inning, and they weren't able to do it. Prisco Santiago comes up. He's over 2. Let's see if Stack can finish him off here. He's at 90 pitches. And Stonehand has him laid out. Picard tries for third. It's a throw, and he does not avoid the tag. Picard is out. Luquillo gets a hit, and that's it. And that was a bit of a rebound inning there for the Naves. There's a chance here.
Yeah, that's something.
As Ramon Chavez will now face Frank, Ham, and Spike. Ramon Chavez.
Again.
Indeed. Ramon Chavez threw 5 innings, 95 pitches, 3 hits, 1 run, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, faces Frank de Castillo, who is 0-2. Frank being very much the straw that stirs this particular drink. If he can get onto Chavez, if he can get his hits, if he can get on base, there are options. 0-1 count for him. What they really need is a double. They have hit nothing for extra bases so far.
Yeah.
Except that RBI double from San Meron. That's it. As that cutter misses away, 1-1. De Castillo does not go after that. It is 2-1 now after that fastball misses. Chavez could be quite effective no matter how tired he gets. So, changeup is fouled off, 2-2. Chavez here giving him nothing inside. Everything is over the outer half of the plate. He's trying to get him to hit it off the tip of the bat. Hits that one foul as well. Frank is not going to let him get away with it, so he'll stay at 2-2. Chavez now at 100 pitches. Here comes the next one. That's hit directly to Picard. He's got it, makes the throw overhand, and Frank will be out at first. I haven't even seen it yet, and I know that. Because he vanished. In a puff of smoke, I assume.
Tragic.
Next up, it's Ham Underwood, 0-2 with a ribby on the day. Can he make something happen with the bases empty and 1 out? Last time he got the job done, brought in the go-ahead run. As here he hits it directly on the first pitch to Santiago. Pretty amazing how all the good defensive plays have not been by the better fielding team. Spike Stonehand, 1-2. He extended an inning before. Can he do it again? 2 outs, bases empty. As so far they have done a sterling job of letting Chavez off the hook, as they say. Hancock and Bourgeois going back into the pen, as that sinker is in the zone, 0-1. Stonehand, of course, hit that go-ahead home run that effectively ended the 1905 Campeonato Nacional Puertorriqueño, as Stonehand does not swing on the sinker, 1-1. Hits that one high, deep, and not quite past Saldana, who's tracking it down. He's got it, puts the glove up. And we are through 6 immensely frustrating innings. The Navegadores go down in order. And before we continue with the bottom of what promises to be an incredibly frustrating game, we are going to have what perhaps we don't hope as much as usual is the last word from one of our sponsors. Louisa, the booth is yours.
Thank you. Folks, as we know, Easter's coming up next week. So I want to give you a word from La Mallorquina. You'll remember them, the great steamed chocolate factory. But they have something new for you. Interesting, this ad is entitled. Among our most recent goods, all conveniently packed for easy transport, Almond Imperial Turon. Quince cheese, which is really more of a jelly, guava paste, tuna preserved in finest Andalusian olive oil, delicious, peas, red peppers, sardines in oil, and in tomato sauce. We also have just filled our spacious cellars to the brim with various wines and exquisite spirits, all at reasonable prices. Balmies and Company. This is great. I love reading about foodstuffs from 100 years ago. Spacious cellars, come on down, look at that Amontillado. And all these canned things. I get tuna preserved in finest Andalusian olive oil. So I'm assuming these canned goods are from Europe, which is fascinating. Peas, red peppers, those might be local. Guava paste, probably locally made. And Turon, which is, I think it's the same as French nougat, which we know is nougat in English. But it's a whipped dessert that tastes like honey. That's the main flavor. But it's got sugar and egg whites to give it that fluffy texture. And it's filled with toasted almonds or other nuts. And my copy here says it's a Mediterranean dessert, but I do know it comes from Persia originally. I think my co-host is back. What are you going to say?
I was going to say that, in fact, all of those canned goods are probably from Europe because this is being advertised in the Boletín Mercantil, which was typically one for the class of people in Puerto Rico that still had very close links back to the mother country, basically.
Okay, I see.
In the 19th century, the Boletín Mercantil would have been weirdly, it was the Nationalist Party that was usually more Hispanophilic than the radicals. Eventually, things changed towards the 1890s, but the Boletín Mercantil was much more to their side of the equation and advertised, Spanish goods, European goods. Quince cheese is definitely European. Turron, definitely European. Okay. I don't think I encountered quince goods at all until I moved to the United States.
Fair enough. I do know it is a European staple for hundreds of years. But the guava paste, surely that would be locally made.
That's true. It might be from Cuba, but my guess is that it was still coming over on some kind of steamer or other kind of maritime route.
Okay, that makes sense.
The peas and the red peppers, that depends on which peppers and so on. But for example, paella is usually served with like little strips of red pepper on there. So there's definitely some Spanish varieties.
They might have been preserved, you think?
Exactly. Yes. And like I say, what really informs me here is the class character of the readership of the Boletín Mercantil would have been the people who would be shopping for imported goods. They would want to know that these goods are coming from Europe or from Cuba or from Mexico, somewhere with a little bit more cachet as a part of the world.
You would want that fine Imperial Turon for your Easter festivities.
Yes. By the way, did you see what's different about this Imperial Turron versus regular old almond Turron, which is, so you described it beautifully. That is what it is. The standard Turron is cooked until it is a very hard consistency. It's almost, I wouldn't say it's quite like a jawbreaker, but it's not soft. You have to apply some real
Okay.
force to break it down. That is
Huh.
usually called turrón de Alicante, which is a region of Spain. But Alicante, I believe, also means a wrench? Question mark.
Huh, that's very interesting. I've only ever had I don't think I've ever had turon, but I've only ever had a dessert like this that has that sort of whipped texture where it's like it is chewy, but it's got like a fluffiness to it as well. But this is not like that, you're saying.
I must be thinking of a similar word because this is not. Alicante is only turning up the Spanish region. There
Okay.
must be something close to it. Anyway, point being, that's the hard turron. The soft turron is turron de Gijona, um,
Okay.
which is a different area, which I cannot remember where it is right now. And it is in Valencia. I should have known that because that's really where turron is from. Anyway, the point
Mm.
is, imperial grade turron. I was very shocked to find out. You would think it's, oh, they must have added a lot of other stuff to it to make it especially
Yeah.
tasty, but actually,
Mm.
I think it says it at the bottom of the commercial.
Oh, do you want me to do the reveal? I was waiting for
Yeah,
you to do.
yeah, yeah.
The difference here, the imperial quality of it, is that it's made in a round cake rather than a square format. Ta-da!
As we all know, roundness is next to royalness, I guess.
You could call it a crown, I suppose. A crown of Turon.
Yeah. Don't call it a crown cake.
No.
Nope, nope,
Nope.
this is bad.
I really could go for some right now, though. You don't really get a lot of honey flavored desserts, but nougat, the one I'm thinking of, or Turon, obviously, has that delicious honey flavor. Mm.
I've got some toasted egg turron sitting right now. Not, I would say maybe 10 feet, maybe 15 feet at the outside from me, and I am probably going to crack into it the moment we're done here. So,
Roasted
especially
egg is
because
an
I'll
interesting
need it
addition.
after the way this game is going.
Yes.
Sorry, you were saying?
Toasted egg is an interesting distinction. Does it taste particularly eggy, or can
I
you tell?
should specify it's specifically the egg yolk that is toasted and added. And yes, it adds a delicious
Huh.
caramelization.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, there is a regular egg yolk flavor that is, in my opinion, not nearly as good.
Okay.
Okay, here goes nothing. We're gonna let Stack get through Santiago and Aguilar and see what happens from there. You are all welcome to yell at me if this turns out to be a bad idea.
Uh-oh.
6 innings, 91 pitches, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Prisco Santiago 0 for 2 on the day. Santiago takes that curveball away 1-0. He does not swing on the next pitch, which is a fastball 2-0. See if Stack can get back into this one. He knocks it to Sherdlu. Sherdlu grabs it, takes the moment to transfer it. Beautiful work there from the font of wisdom. He throws over and it's out number 1 on the splitter. Here comes Aldo Aguilar, who is 1 for 2 on the day. He, of course, started that flurry of hits that put so much pressure on Stack. Might say he blew it. Sinker on the outside of the zone, strike 1. Hits that one hard, and Aldo Aguilar has his second hit of the game.
Wow. Real on the
Unbelievable.
line.
Frank Del Castillo has to turn around and make that throw and takes, as usual for Frank, a geological era to release the ball, so it'll be a double.
Good
And
grief.
Aldo
That was so
Aguilar,
close to foul.
mm-hmm. So a two-base hit, the 7th of the game for the Soles, and now we have a decision to make.
Hmm.
They are not so different anymore. That's very unfortunate. I want. Who do we go to here? He's going to face righties, so that doesn't matter. Fastball, sinker, and cutter versus changeup and cutter. All right, now pitching for the Navegadores de Naguabo, guy whose number I can't see. Number 8, Jan Bourgeois from Haiti. This will be his first inning, of course, of the 1906 season. Last year, he had 3 wins and 15 innings, walked 11 guys, struck out 8 with an ERA of 1.80. I already regret this.
We'll see.
Man on second and 1 out. Primo Agosto is 1 for 3. He had a single back in the 5th, and that's a sinker in there. Strike 1. Bourgeois misses with his next sinker, 1-1. And misses with the fastball, 2-1. This is already a problem. And he misses again, because apparently that's just how we're doing things today. Sinker misses again, and it's a 3-1 count. And it's a walk. Jeez. I'm starting to think the Navegadores might deserve to lose this game.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way too, and I hate to do it, but yep, they're not. This could be easy for them, but they're not doing that.
Right. Eusebio Saldana is 1 for 3 with a run batted in, 2 on and 1 out. He, of course, brought in a run, and Bourgeois has so far proven unable to throw a strike, as that cutter misses wildly away from the zone, 1-0. Sinker hits the dirt, 2-0. He gets his requisite strike for the at-bat. It's a 2-1 count now. And just apparently not bothering to change how he's doing any of it. But he gets a grounder there. Throws to second. Is that even going to matter? Yes, he gets the out.
Well, that was a surprise. I didn't think that was working.
Aguilar makes it to third, and Eusebio Saldana will be at first. And here comes Kaylee Murphy, who, of course, scored or brought in the go-ahead run. He comes up with runners on the corners and 2 outs. As Bourgeois attempts a pickoff to first base, and he's safe. Bourgeois pulls his catcher off the plate with that sinker, 1-0. This has been a terrible outing.
Jeez.
That fastball is in there for a strike, 1-1. Attempts another pickoff, but Saldana is back safely. 1-1 count. That is popped up. Vidal Santiago running after it. Let's see if he holds on. He does, puts the glove up, and that is out number 3. Unbelievably, Bourgeois gets out of it. How likely did you think that was?
That was such a shame. Why was Jan so terrible all of a sudden? Like, right out of the gate. Terrible.
Very, very disturbing, honestly.
Yeah. Ugh.
So we are at the bottom of the 7th, and it will be the top of the lineup. Ramon Chavez staying in, and why wouldn't he? 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, a single earned run, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts, and everyone suddenly decided to get good at fielding today for him, so why not? Here comes Rob Feaster, who's 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. By the way, Chavez had 105 pitches. That sinker is called strike 1. There is no umpire who is calling that a strike. So that'll even the count of 1-1 as that fastball hits the dirt. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Feaster lines that one foul. 1-2 now. Chavez's favorite count, 2 strikes. This could be a problem. 1-2. Feaster through the box. So he's got his first hit of the year, and it'll be a leadoff single. Once again, not much power off of Chavez so far. Here comes Shirley, who's over 2. Go ahead, or pardon me, tying run on first. Let's see if Rob can steal again and make it happen. They're going to try to get him out. Is it successful? The throw is late, apparently. Feaster is able to make that happen. The tying run is on scoring in scoring position on second base. Feaster is the second Navegador to steal 2 bases in 1906.
Oh, man.
Prove me wrong. Win my love back.
I have a very random question.
Uh-huh.
What is the second line of Hey Jude? It's don't make it bad, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking in the back of my head I've got Hey Rob, don't make it bad.
Okay.
And I'm trying to turn it into steal second or something. Steal some bases and make it better. 1-0 count for sure, Lou.
Yeah.
Pops it up. Oh, but it's foul. For once, that's actually helping us here.
See, if only this were professional soccer, you could write new lines about specific players for pop songs and have everyone in the crowd sing them.
Apparently, they do that in Japanese baseball as well. It's literally
nice.
just USians that are the problem, as per usual.
Uh-huh, that makes sense.
Man on second and no outs, 1-1 count for Shirley. That's strike 2 with a fastball in there. Let's see if the Font of Wisdom can get back into this one. Wow, disrespectfully hard foul there down the first baseline. He did not like that pitch at all, and it would have been ball 2 for sure. See what he does next. He swings through it, is what he does. He swings through the sinker, becomes the 4th strikeout for Ramon Chavez, who is exhausted. Here comes Fidel Santiago, who's 1 for 2. Now, he's got some actual power. Let's see if he'll deploy it here. He walked back in the 5th, and here Feaster breaking for 3rd. Is he going to be safe? How is that possible? Did we miss something? Throw goes to the catcher. He releases the ball on time. That ball definitely made it there before he did.
Yeah, it sure did. He sailed in right under the line of that ball already being in the fielder's hand.
Starting to think these umpires might be gambling. Man on 3rd with 1 out. Tying run in there. 0-1 count. Let's see if that can make it happen. Hits that one to the shortstop. Picard has no trouble with it. And it's out number 2. Not a single hard hit since this guy coming up hit that double way back when. And this time he's really going to have to find a gap out there if he wants to tie this game. He can't hit a sac fly. He can't hit an RBI ground out. And Pablito's not good under pressure, so nobody get your expectations up. 2 outs, man on 3rd. Last time he grounded out into a double play. This time he pops it up into right field because once again he does not like seeing multiple pitches.
Oh boy.
Evans catches it out there, and it is out number 3. We're through 7 innings. The score remains 3-2, and I don't even know what to say at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
Truly, this has been 3 innings of very disappointing baseball.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Oh, I almost just made Rob Feaster Puerto Rican in this social media post.
Were you putting extra accents in his name?
Yes. Rob Feaster. That's his slogan when he runs for president.
Real Beto O'Rourke energy.
Oh, I was going for Jeb, but that's even better.
Yes, I know you were, but the synergy.
Yes. People don't know this, but Rob Feaster's middle name is in fact Alberto. It was very funny how many people simply assumed after it was clear that this is not a Hispanic man that he had to be some kind of Tejano thing, and none of them were from Texas who were assuming this. They just wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because obviously he was photogenic and seemed like he had his head screwed on right. I mean, he did call Ted Cruz the F-bomb one time, so there is that. Can't deny him that point. All right, here we go. Let's get back into this game in a second here.
Now, you mentioned wanting to have maybe a word in the 7th inning stretch, which we've blown through, but do you want to do that or no? Save that?
I think we'll do it post game because it'll be a nice little pick me up after the Naves fail to win this one.
Fair.
And also, we were normally, you know what it is we were going to check on the other games, but I don't know how many other games are going right now. Oh, wow, a decent number, actually. Mayagüez and Rincon are off to a rollicking start. They're in the bottom of the... Hey, pause. They are tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Rincon just had a triple from Jesus Lizarde, the Jesus Lizard.
Oh, that one that can run across the surface of the water, yeah.
And apparently all the way to third base, yes.
Very good.
Off of Hortensio Galicia, so he's in excellent position with Carlos Tagle coming up next. The Mulos are shutting out the Guavaleros 3-0. Urbano Reina has taken on all 3 runs. So it's a great day for good pitchers to suck.
Yeah.
The Milagrosos are beating the Dulceros, narrowly avoided a copyright penalty there, 5-2. Apparently, O'Sullivan went in there. I hope this isn't an injury issue here, as in the bottom of the 6th, Jabucoa is threatening with runners on the corners and 1 out. Guayanilla is beating Peñuelas 3-0. Domingo Santa Maria, Sunday St. Mary, great name, is currently facing Brendan John in the mid-7th. Bob Molds and his solo shot are the only run the Electricos have scored. And that's it. Those are all the games going. But hey, at least we found out about the Jesus Lizard.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Do you think in this reality they named the lizard after him?
I mean, it's certainly possible, isn't it?
It is. Technically
How common
speaking.
is the last name Lizarde? Because that is a very strange last name to me.
Not
to
very.
me, to my
I'll say
eyes. That. Okay.
So here we go. Jan Bourgeois is through 2 outs over 12 pitches. We're going to see what he does because they did pull Julio Rubio, which is interesting. He was the guy who was really scared to face.
Mm-hmm.
And Hancock, if these buttons ever work, is next man up. Actually, you know what? We're going to put Chet Hancock in now.
Okay.
Chet Hancock, a little bit more control, throws a little faster, changeup and cutter for him, 2-pitch setup. Kareem Anbar and Varela will be in the pen next. Antenor Bautista is pinch hitting, number 11 for the Soles. He started games last year. He did not do great at them, so I can understand why they replaced him with Agosto. Here goes nothing. Hancock's first pitch is a base hit.
Oh boy, what the heck?
Center. Underwood corrals it and holds him to a single, but boy.
Is there a carbon monoxide leak on the field today?
Here comes Cameron Evans, who's 0-for-2 with a walk, as Chad Hancock on his very first pitch allows that. Bautista is back on that throw. Another pickoff attempt, but Bautista is back. Understandable why they're trying to do that. Bautista could easily go, as that cutter misses low and outside, 1-0.
Is he a Welshman, Evans?
Scottish.
Aha, strange.
Pickoff attempt to first again. His first name is Cameron, so...
Oh, his last name is Evans, so...
Maybe he's both.
That's true.
4 pickoff attempts. We have seen 1 throw to the plate. Now it's 2, as he gets that cutter in for a strike, 1-1. Hit hard out to left field. Vidal Santiago charging in. He's got it for out number 1, and he will make the throw to hold the runner. Ceremonial, but appreciated nonetheless. Here comes Marcos Picarte, who is 1-for-2 on the day. Man on first with 1 out. As Bautista attempts a steal, and he is gone. Stonehand pegs him at second easily with a cannon throw from behind the plate. He took that first steal personally. And Hancock now has 2 outs to work with, as Picard is 1-for-2 on the day. Has an 0-1 count. And Picard, of course, manages to extend the inning because that's the game we're playing here. Valdez could not quite get to that one, and here comes Vicente Hernandez, who at least has not gotten a hit today. But the way things are going, I'm sure he's about to hit a 2-run homer.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, has he ever hit a home run? He has hit 1 home run.
He could double it tonight.
He sure could. As there's another attempt at Hernandez. Last time had a sac bunt. Obviously, that option is not open to him here. As Picard is chased back. It's a pitch out. But Picard was not going on it. Because you scared him off by throwing to him. You made the pitch out less successful. You do understand that, right?
Yeah.
That cutter misses closer. 2-0. I guess that's an improvement. And here goes nothing. Picard will steal second successfully after all that drama. It's a good slide. That's Picard's first stolen base of the season. Man on second at a 2-1 count at the plate for Vicente Hernandez. As he knocks that one into center field. Underwood chasing it down. He puts the glove up and he's got it. Ham brings it in, and that will end the top of the 8th. Despite 2 hits, they do not bring in a run. So they're able to hold the lead there, and it'll be Ramon Chavez at 117 pitches. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. He will face Wally Balk. He will face Benji Valdez. He will face Frank Del Castillo. 3 guys who are hitless tonight. Balk is off 0 for 2 with a walk. Let's see what he'll do. Boy, we could use a Wally wall up right about now.
Mm-hmm.
Sinker misses down and in, 1-0. He hit him! Wally Balk gets plunked,
no!
And the leadoff man will be aboard.
Wow.
Chavez. Well, honestly, we would normally say, hey, at least he took one for the team. Maybe that'll result in something, but we've watched the rest of this game. We know where this is going. Luckily, it was a changeup that got away from him, so nothing worse than maybe a little bruising. Here comes Benji Valdez, who's over 2 on the day.
Ooh.
We're celebrating a called strike, or 1, with the Technotronic. Sinker low again, so 2 strikes, 2 quick strikes on Benji Valdez, who apparently thought both of those were balls. Let's see if he can protect the plate here. Avoid the dreaded strikeout. Knocks that one right to second base. That's a tailor-made double play. Yet again. Exactly the place they can't put it, and they keep doing it. Here comes Frank Del Castillo, who's 0 for 3 on the day. 2 outs and the base is empty, and they are fast running out of excuses here.
How do you let a team that's so bad at fielding get multiple double plays on you? How does that happen?
Great question. The Castillo here, who grounded out and has just been useless at the plate right now. Checks his swing on that cutter, 1-0. The real answer is that Ramon Chavez is adept at coaxing ground balls from guys that normally wouldn't hit them. As that changeup hits the dirt, 2-0. That tends to happen. The pitch by pitch here says you do not want to walk this guy. What does it matter?
They're breaking the 4th wall. They're so upset about this game.
3-0 count. Chavez does walk that guy.
Great.
Tying run on first, his 6th walk of the game. And that is when they pull him for Miguel Cortez. Correctly gauging that a new pitcher at this point is the best thing they can do. Now, granted, Miguel Cortez is a mere mortal compared to Chavez, but at this point, with the few outs they have left to work with, who cares? Cortez, number 29, has a fastball, sinker, and cutter. He looks like a much more competent version of Jan Bourgeois. Here comes Ham Underwood, who's over 3 with a ribby. Let's see if they can make them pay. I doubt it, but who knows? As there's a pickoff attempt to first, but Del Castillo back in plenty of time. Another pickoff attempt to first, but Del Castillo back in plenty of time. Del Castillo not going, as that cutter, which was absolutely not in the zone, gets called for strike 1. That is rolled right to third. They make the throw to second, and that ends the inning. Well, that's about what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
Runner stranded, and the Navegadores with Chad Hancock on the mound. We're going to give them a chance to see what he can do against Santiago Aguilar and Agosto. Santiago's over 3. Hancock allowed 2 base hits over 10 pitches, but he got out of it. And we'd rather find out if he's usable at all. As that changeup misses high and away, 1-0. That is knocked down the right field line, but it is foul. 1-1. Another attempt here. That's hit hard down the right field line, and boy, the Soles are just up and at him. That is, Frank, get rid of the ball. Another double, all of which have come from the Soles since Pablo Salmeron in the first inning. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Well, that about tears it. We're going to be bringing in Kareem Anbar, now pitching for the Naves, number 10. Anbar needs no introduction. You all know who this is. He was a shutdown closer during the postseason, saved plenty of games, did his job during the regular season too, winning 6 games out of the pen, pitching nearly 40 innings with a 1.14 ERA, striking out 45, walking just 7. He'll face Aguilar, Agosto, and Saldana.
I think this might be the most pitchers I've ever seen in one game for Naves.
Yeah, we like to let the starters cook as long as they possibly can, but clearly the entire pitching staff forgot how to do their jobs today.
Yeah.
That slider is fouled, and Aguilar there watches the sinker miss as he pulls back from the bunt, 1-1. He takes the pitch high, 2-1 this time.
He really wants that bunt.
Fouls that off, 2-2. Anbar misses by not much, not as much as that looked like anyway, but that'll bring us to a full count, so you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
That's it hard. It goes to Balk, who goes to first across the hallway, and it's out number 1. Here comes Priamo Agosto, who's 1 for 3. Let's see here. Pitch. Slider is low, 1-0. That is fouled away, 1-1. Slider misses low, 2-1. Slider misses inside, 3-1. That is hit to left field. Another base hit. The Soles simply cannot stop putting the ball in play. There's just nothing the Navegadores seem able to do to prevent it from happening.
Yeah. Wild.
That puts them up 4-2. And that's probably the dagger they needed. It's another double for Priamo Agosto, his second hit of the game. And, boy, I don't even know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
Here comes Eusebio Saldana, who has a hit in his only at-bat against Anbar, with a man on second and 1 out. Slider is outside, ball 1. Saldana swings right through that one, 1-1. Sinker misses, 2-1. That is fouled away. A slider that time, 2-2. Let's see if he can finish him off. That is rolled right back to Anbar. He makes the throw to first, and they get the out. That's out number 2. And here comes Kaylee Murphy, who's 1 for 4. He's much worse against lefties, fellow lefties. So hopefully this will be a quick at-bat, but who knows. Luquillo has a 5th possible run at third. Sinker is inside, ball 1. Great. That is hit into right field. Frank de Castillo can't get to it in time. And once again takes absolutely forever getting rid of it, so that'll easily score the run. It'll be 5-2 after that one. Kaylee Murphy has knocked in his second run of the game. And Anbar has officially allowed his first run of the season. He now faces Antenor Bautista, who is 1 for 1 on the day. 2 outs and a man on first. Anbar misses inside with a slider, 1-0. Misses inside with a sinker, 2-0. That is hit through the box. That is another base hit. Underwood has to get it. You can see, can you hear the Naves fans booing on your side of the audio?
No.
They're pretty quiet, but they are there.
Oh man, the mood is bad in the
vibes
left
are horrifying.
Uh-huh.
The ship is adrift. Cameron Evans is 0 for 3 on the day. 2 on, 2 outs. Let's see what he does, as that pitch is in there for a strike. It's a walled pitch. It's a walled pitch.
What?
Murphy is able to move to third. Bautista to second. It's a 1-1 count after that slider evades Stonehand. He had to get up just to catch it. Slider misses high and tight. 2-1.
Evans again. This guy again.
Evans fouls that one off. A hot bouncer is what that is described as he fouls it off on the third baseline. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners, and 2 outs. Deuces Wild yet again. Evans hits it through the box. That scores another run and might even score 2.
Why not?
Yep, that's exactly what happens. 7-2 Soles now.
This is so shameful. In the ninth, you let this happen.
A 4-run ninth from the Soles to just put this game out of hand. And now Marcos Picard has a chance to stick even more of a knife in them. He's 2 for 3 on the night. 2 outs and a man on first. Kareem Anbar is wearing a 40.50 ERA now. Wait, are you serious? They picked him off. They picked off Evans after that.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a successful pickoff.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
3 outs to get 5 runs. Can they do it? No. But they can try, certainly. Okay, let's see. Is there anybody they could be running out there? Cortez is a righty, so we're going to go for splits versus righties.
They just need to load the bases. Get a home run, that's all.
Is it worth running? Is it worth bringing in Kieran Anderson? Let's see. Sure, why not? Nothing else has worked. I am trying. Here we go. Now hitting for the Navegadores, number 20, Kieran Anderson. Speaking of Scots, he currently occupies the Scottish seat on the Navegadores roster. He is their 3rd catcher. This is his first plate appearance in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueño. He faces Miguel Cortez, who took 2 hits to get his 1 out. Let's see what happens. Cortez pumps in a cutter by him for strike 1. Kieran Anderson came in promoted from the Malditos as he fouls that one off and lands very quickly in the hole. 0-2. Guessing Cortez is going to finish this one off right here and now. No, he misses with a cutter. 1-2. Misses again with a fastball. 2-2. At least there's not much in the way of expectations here, as Anderson hits that one down the first baseline, but it's fouled. 2-2. A sinker that time. Fouls that one off as well. Chops it into the ground and will stay at 2-2. This is a surprisingly good at bat for a first plate appearance. He misses again, and Kieran Anderson has worked a full count in his first LNP at bat. So you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
Great. It ends in a foul pop-up. Agosto is able to catch it, and that's out number 1. Here comes Rob Feaster, who's 1 for 3. 1 out, base is empty. 2 outs to try and get 5 runs. Cortez misses wide with a sinker, 1-0. He knocks that one into left field. What's that now?
The Oregon player just trolling them at this point.
Honestly. It's a base hit. First one they've gotten in a while, honestly, it feels like. And here comes Shirley, who's 0 for 3. Is this the beginning of something? He has a walk. He has a run scored. As that sinker is in there, 0-1. Pickoff attempt. Feaster back on that. 0-1 count. Shirley knocks that one into right field. That drops. So Feaster will go to second. And that'll put 2 on with 1 out. So maybe they can at least make this a respectable defeat. Here comes Vidal Santiago, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Let's see if he wants to show off those muscles. Pitch number 1 to him is a sinker, low. It's been working for Cortes, and it's in there for strike 1. Then he misses low with the sinker again, 1-1. And misses inside, I believe. 2-1. Misses again, 3-1. Santiago swings right through that sinker. All sinkers so far. Let's see what happens with this payoff pitch. Knocks that one into center field, and we might officially be up and running. That's going to be, the bases are loaded.
Wow. All right. They're doing what I said. They just need a grand slam and then 1 more home run. Easy.
Let's see if Paulo Salmeron can make that happen for you. He is 1 for 4 on the day with a ribby. Can he make it happen? As Cortes misses with the fastball low, 1-0. Hits that one high, hits that one deep, hits that one foul. It'll be strike 1. I can't believe they're giving us any hope.
Yeah.
Cortes gets strike 2 on that low sinker again. Here goes nothing. Misses wide with the cutter, 2-2. Rolls that one. That should be another double play, I would imagine, as they try to throw home. Is Feaster there? Did they get either out? That's the important question. Feaster is out, but they throw to first. It'll be a fielder's choice, so they have 1 out left. Here comes Wally Bogg, who's 0 for 2. Let's see if he can do anything here. Chavez plunked him, of course, last time, and then managed to get a double play out of it. Sinker low, 1-0. Low sinker for the strike. Actually a fastball this time, right down the middle that should have been smashed. But it wasn't. 1-1 count. Hit right to the second baseman's glove. And that will end the ball game. The Navegadores get trounced 7-2 on their home field to open the inning. To open their 1906 season. And boy, there's just blame to go around, really.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what you have to say is you have to tip your hat. Ramon Chavez is an incredible pitcher, and he showed that today because he worked around 4 hits, 6 walks, and a plunk, and still managed to get every play he needed, still managed to get lucky with fielding, and Miguel Cortes earning his first save, whereas the Navegadores pitching staff pooped the bed in every possible way. The only part of this game that was worth watching was the base running. The Navegadores stole 5 bases.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh man, they really let me down.
They sure did. This was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Truly a bad game, and you know, it is what it is. There are 167 other games in the season, and this is exactly why. But this sucked. This was not enjoyable. And we're hoping that for those of you who want to know where we're going ahead here, next week we're hoping to bring you a Malditos game from a month in game time from now, when Oswaldo Tlatenchi will be making his debut for the Malditos de Naguabo, the minor league team. And honestly, if that one went like this, we would be a lot happier.
Mm-hmm. That would make more sense.
Yeah. Ugh. Do you think, should we just get out of here, or should we extend this broadcast a little bit with our interesting find from the Boletín Mercantil? What do you think?
Yeah, let's have that. It's real quick. It'll just be a minute. No problems. Folks, I want to tell you about something that is for sale. You need to know. and you just sat through this game, you want to drown your troubles. Well, in the town of Naguabo, there's a grocery store situated on Calle del Comercio, including all its goods and appliances. Furthermore, Transferred would be the house, also located on this property, built in wood and roofed with clay tiles and galvanized iron. Comforts galore for a numerous family, bread oven, farmyard and well, and other rooms. All accounts transferable with the establishment. For more information, direct yourselves to Senores or Casitas and Company in the capital, or to their agent, Don Emilio Bustamante, in the aforementioned town. Buying a grocery store, that sounds very exciting.
I was surprised to find out that did I mention what the specific term was?
You did mention that there's transfer and...
No. The specific term for the grocery store. That's a surprising bit.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
It is pulperia. A pulpery.
Huh. Interesting.
Same. And I actually asked a coworker of mine, and he mentioned that in the DR, that is still a term that is used for kind of a small bodega type business.
Oh, wow. That makes me think of like a cider press or something, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it weird.
Yeah.
Real quick, other home runs and interesting things that happened. Urbano Rubiera also hit a home run. He's another Puerto Rican who can be a bucheron now and again.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it. 3 home runs, and one of them was in this game, so I guess at least we got to see a dinger.
That was pretty great. I wish they played the horn every time there's a home run, but I know they won't do it for visiting teams.
That's right. Any final thoughts before we let him go?
Just that I thought I was understanding baseball better now, seeing the way the numbers were stacked up at the beginning, and with your guidance on what it might mean, I was like, I understand here. The pitcher's good, the fielding's bad, the Naves, they can handle this. But then they didn't at all, so I don't know. I don't know anything.
They got absolutely wrecked. This was embarrassing. And hopefully they pick themselves up. Look at this. The only member of the starting lineup not to get a hit was Vicente Hernandez. And multiple of these guys, they gave up 2 hits to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members of the starting lineup for a team that is probably going to win like 68 games.
That's amazing.
It's disgusting what happened here. But that's game 1. Hopefully they pick themselves up and do better after this. In fact, they had better, because otherwise changes will be made.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're getting yelled at in the dugout right about now.
Almost certainly. Burford is probably... have you ever seen that clip of... oh, God, I forget his name. He's French, but he was coaching the Saudi Arabian team at the World Cup. And so he was lecturing them in French accented English. And then he had a translator who was translating and inhabiting the character of him in Arabic. So, as people put it, they were getting cooked in English, and then they were getting cooked again in Arabic.
No, I haven't seen that. It sounds
great. He was making fun of them for being too impressed by, I think it was Argentina they were playing. So he was saying, you guys are like, you want to take a selfie with Messi? And whatnot. It was an incredible lecture. I imagine that is what's happening right now with Burford in the dugout, except he has to have a translator into Spanish and a translator into French.
That's great.
I'm sure it's amazing. Anyway, gente, we're gonna let you go here. We will likely not be back next Friday because I am traveling. But we will try to be back Saturday so that we can get you that minor league game. We'll try to schedule that on Twitch and see how it goes. We really wanted to have a scheduling calendar ready to go ahead of the season, and then we ran into all this trouble with the simulator, so you know what that is. But until then, as always, this has been Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Gente, buenas noches. Gracias mil. Y Dios les bendiga.